to you live from an upload speed of 1.17 megabytes per second. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
G'day, bonjour, good evening. Welcome to the 92nd episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. I, as always, am Log Power Slave, and I'm joined this week by my good friend Mylan Games. But I want to just issue some apologies for our dear friend Sloth. He was run over by a bus and killed, so he's very sad to not be here. But we wish him like maybe he has an ascendant realm and we can get him back, or something, a throne world. Of all the people I know, I think Sloth is likely to have a throne world, actually.
Sloth is 100% got a throne world. From my understanding of throne worlds, Sloth has a throne world.
There you go. You heard it from Matt himself. It's canon. Sloth has a throne world. It's a real thing. But who knows? Maybe we'll get him back, some kind of future content release that we're not expecting, and, he'll make us fight a fucking dragon. Who knows? But, Matty, how you doing, mate? How's your week been?
Actually really good. I started off low then, but we're gonna bring it back up high. I can't really complain. I've still got this. I don't know if it's the jet lag or it's the flu or it's just a combination of both, but I just pretty much constantly have that, like, it's not a migraine. It's that like sick feeling headache, or the jet lag headache. When your body's like, what the fuck are you doing? You stay up too late. It's like, go to bed. But I'm sleeping at the right times. I'm getting good sleep, but my body's still all out of whack. So
I think
I don't know if that's just
being in compressed air and dehydrated for that long on a flight. Like, even if you don't change time zones, it still absolutely bends you over. It's just awful.
Yeah. So I've still got that, but thankfully I can talk. I've made a video every second, third day, which has been, I think we've always spoke about before. I envy Twitch streamers when I see that their content creation involves playing the game. YouTube content creation involves not playing the game. And I'm pretty much just constantly thinking, fuck, I wish I was playing Destiny, which is a good problem to have. It's a great problem to have.
It's such an oxymoron. It's not an oxymoron, but a dichotomy, if you will.
Yeah. That, and you know what? Like, I think about it all the time. Like, I think it's one of those things where the grass is always greener. Because I think wouldn't it be amazing if rather than YouTube, I had that audience on Twitch and I was just playing Destiny for 8 to 12 hours a day. Then I thought, do you know what? It's great when it's new, but you know what? When it sucks.
Yeah. Like to say, when we had the 6 months of D2, and it was a bit rough,
right?
But you got to play it every day.
And that's when that's when YouTube shines, because during that time I hardly played it. I still enjoyed making videos, but I didn't have to log in every day. So the grass is always greener. But I'm really, man. It's fun. Like, I want to get back in there hardcore, and the issue at the moment is I'm making too many lore videos and there's too much stuff to read, which is a good problem.
And obviously you've come on hard times in your personal life too, given that you're back at your mum and dad's. We'll address the elephant in the room.
Yeah. You know how I said I want Destiny to be the relationship wrecker that I've always hoped and dreamed for. Yeah. Oh yeah, it well and truly ruined my relationship with Danny, and so I got kicked out. No, that's a joke, people.
That's a G up.
Got him. No, it's a joke. Danny decided that the best time to renovate the kitchen would be exactly on Forsaken release. So we've had just no kitchen, no facilities for cooking any food, living on takeaway, which just makes you feel like butt when you're sick. You just like want some vegetables. So yeah.
Brutal.
Sorry,
Brutal.
that was a long intro.
I think it's fine.
There
I
you go.
mean, we don't have Sloth here, so we can. You know where he'd normally step in and be like, "Yeah, no one cares. Move on." You know.
That sounds like a you problem, Matt.
How's your week been? It's always been. No one cares. Move on.
What have you been up to?
I mean, I'm sad today. I'm going to admit I'm sad today because today's the last day of my 2 weeks off that I had to celebrate Forsaken.
Oh, dude.
Which
Did you have this week off as well?
Yeah. I've done
mate. What?
fuck all.
How good is it? Does it feel good?
I mean, yeah, like, I hardly even streamed or anything. I've really done jack shit except play Destiny and a few little odd jobs around the house that, like, I've had to do to keep the wolf away. Or, I mean, keep Rach happy with me, I suppose. You know, keep the wheels on the life, but beyond that.
Yeah. It's one of those things you can play Destiny all day and then you look at the clock, you're like, fuck, I better do those dishes before I get home. Otherwise, I want to get a whooping.
It's one of those things. Or like where I just fail to do it. And then I am just being an apologetic douchebag of like, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. And then I'll do it again.
Just accept the consequence.
I've got the best wife on the planet because she puts up with my shit. What a legend.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it has been another massive, massive week in Destiny. We've played a shitload of it. Matt, you got up on release of the raid. It was, 1 a.m. for you? 3 a.m. for us on the East Coast?
Yeah, it was 1 a.m. for me. I really would have preferred the 3 a.m. because I feel like you could at least get some sleep, but 1 a.m. is a bit rough. So got up at 1 a.m. and it felt good. I haven't had that feeling in a while. Like, you know, where you're getting out of bed and putting clothes on to do a video game raid. It was short-lived, but it was sort of a blessing in disguise. One of the gents had to leave with to look after family, and that's fine. We got into the first encounter. We worked out the mechanics of the first encounter, which was, you know, exactly what I really wanted to experience. I wanted to experience the mechanics. I wanted to. You cannot get that experience back once it's out there, and people start talking about it. If you go into a raid team, unless you specifically organize 5 other people who want to go in blind, you don't get that experience anymore.
Yeah.
The only time you get it is like on release, unless you block yourself off to the world, listen to no podcast, you delete your Twitter, like you live in a cave, and then you meet up with your 5 buddies and do it. So, and personally, I don't know. I don't. There's something about doing it when everyone else is doing it. I don't know if you're like that, but it's like that. It's like that FOMO for me. Like I love the fact that everybody's doing it at the same time. Like that has excitement in it as well.
Yeah.
Knowing that you might be the first to work it out is really cool. But we quickly found out that you can go in at 520, but you're not having fun. That's for sure.
Yeah,
well, actually, no, we did have fun. But like, no shit. You know, when we got to DPS phases of the bosses, like you need glasses to see how much damage you were doing to the health bar. It was you needed a magnifying glass. You need a magnifying glass to just to see the bee's dick of health that we took off the first boss. But that being said though, I think we didn't really get to coordinating a full round of DPS, like, you know, with rifts and with shotguns and with boob cannons, and, you know, and I think I definitely think it was a level. I'm interested to see how much health they've got when you go in at the right level, but I get the impression everything's a bit beefier because everybody has shotguns, everybody has snipers. You've got things like the Radiant Well that's giving damage buffs. You've got the boop cannon. So I get the impression bosses are tankier just to accommodate for
Whisper of the Worm.
all the power. Yeah, to accommodate for Whisper of the Worm. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's a bit hard to tell because we were also underpowered. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know yet. Yeah.
I'd like to pretend that if I'd been there, things might have gone differently, but I know they wouldn't have because I'm not much further up the light ladder than you are. I'm only at like 5:30. So watching, I watched a heap of, I was jumping between about 4 or 5 different streams yesterday, watching everyone. Like, it's the first time I've ever really gotten into the raid race kind of deal and really bought into it and like annoyed the shit out of my family by walking around with my mobile phone and then like just
All
some
day.
streams for. Well, I expected it to be done at any moment, and then it's like fucking. Like Keg and I were at the pub last night to watch the football, and then going, okay, it's like 9 o'clock. Has anyone done it yet? Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I actually missed out on the finale by like 8 minutes. I'd watched it for probably. I had it on in the background for probably the whole day actually.
yeah,
Probably the whole day. I only muted it to record a video, but apart from that, like when I got up at 6 a.m., it was on my computer. On all of them were open up until like 9 o'clock or something like that. And I went to have a shower, and I came back, and I checked Bungie's Twitter, and I was like, well, congratulations. I was like, fuck. I missed it.
it's fine. It's like the story of my life too, man. If I look away, that good shit happens. It's like, the most memorable thing in the world happens.
Yeah, but, I did get to see. I got to see Dada's team reach the last stand first. That was. Oh man, it's so exciting. It's so exciting to see that stuff,
dude. Like, I think first and foremost, we've got to congratulate the Clan Redeem guys for getting there and getting it done. So, round of applause. We'll put the sounds on. Good, yep. But so Modern, Sweatsicle, Error, Indica, Flesh Crunch, and Glad, whose stream I was sitting in. I'm not sure whether the other guys were streaming or it was just Glad or what. But
I think Sweatsicle was as well.
Yeah, okay.
I think from memory.
Fair enough. 18 hours and 48 minutes. Have you ever done anything for 18 hours and 48 minutes? Like, that's an international flight. That's fucking...
Yeah, actually, I did one last week to the fucking US.
Yeah, fuck. Shouldn't have asked.
But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be doing the raid on Virgin Wi-Fi, that's for sure. So, like, I played yesterday after I finished the lore video. I was very motivated to get to a high level. So I started a new character, and Danny had gone out. So I did a solid 4 or 5 hours, and I haven't really done that in a long time, like a real stint of gaming like that, like uninterrupted. And I finished it. I was like, I'm fucking exhausted. Like, how long was that? And I was like, oh my God, that was only 4 hours. Can you imagine doing that for 18 in a raid situation? That's long.
Man, the other thing I'm worried about, and this is a bit off the books, but I'm worried about this. I don't recall anyone going like, man, I've got to go take a shit.
Dude, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, don't these guys poop and wee?
I'll put that tweet out and I'm like, fuck, there's got to be some like adult diaper endorsements coming around for the next fucking raid race or whatever. I can't remember. I was at the pub and having a beer, but like, seriously, can you imagine us? Like, if we were 18 hours, I mean, we'd kill each other long before we got to 18 hours in. But man, like, I think that's, I mean, I was talking to Rach about it earlier. I'm like, man, it took him 18 hours, nearly 19 hours to do it. And Rach is like, that's like weird. Why are people playing video games for that long?
Well, I mean, this is the thing though. Like, and this is the business side of it. It's fucking big money. It's potentially career changing for the guys if you get it, right? Like, you could go from a medium streamer or a lesser known streamer and potentially have an audience now. Even right now, like, if you can maintain that momentum, like that, any content creation, it's like that. It's the YouTube, it's the Twitch. You just need that one moment where you can gather a lot of people, and then it's just about maintaining that. And that that's been my experience with YouTube. My moment was I made a little video on Oryx, and that was the first 100,000 views I got ever on a video. And it literally since then it's just been all right. How do I keep that going?
Keep the ball rolling. Yeah. I mean,
I imagine Twitch version.
Ninji. Look at Ninji's tweet earlier that was like the day that he had. He got 20,000 new followers yesterday.
On Twitter?
No, on Twitch. Because like he was leading the race for a while. He was right up there. He was the first person to get to Riven. And like, admittedly, he's not someone that I'd come across before. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, here I am watching him, gave him a follow. And so, he was right at the top of the directory on the biggest day that there is for, good luck to him. He's, good on you.
And, it's hard to put that into perspective in the build up. It's hard to convince a significant other, look, I'm going to disappear for 2 weeks. Oh, how long? I'm going to disappear for 10 days. From September the 5th, right? Because what I want to do is I want to play this video game for 12 hours at least a day to get to the highest light level possible. There's 5 other dudes that's going to do it with me. And we're banking on the chance to beat... I don't know how many people tried to do it. Like, I wouldn't say there's millions that tried to do on the first day, but let's just say a player base of millions of people. To be the first in the world to do something, because if we do it, it's like the playoffs, right? If we do it, it's like making the grand. It's like making the grand final.
It is the grand final. It is the destiny. It's the Super Bowl.
Maybe I can make a career in that. Maybe this can be. I can quit my fucking job I hate and do something I love. So it's pretty big stakes to be there, to be at that top and to be performing, let alone performing with like 50,000-60,000 people watching you, which is mind-boggling.
Well, that's a stadium. That's a stadium worth of people. It's when you put that into real terms. That's more people that are at like most fucking like sports events here. Like that is a shitload of people. Like that's nearly. I mean, what does Stadium Australia holds? 80,000, I think. So, I mean, I'm sure there's bigger stadiums elsewhere in the world, but, that is a fucking shitload of people to be sitting there streaming the one thing, watching the one thing, watching you fuck up and fail every time, I don't know. Even if I had the ability and the time and all that, I don't think I could handle it mentally. I think, like, that, I don't know. I mean, like, I look at guys like Goth and that, and, they did exceptionally well. And at the end of it, you could tell that like they're taking on Riven and they're not at their peak. Like they're trying to do the hardest thing in the game, fucking exhausted and knackered and like trying to go through it all. And anyone that was there at the end of that, I totally respect for even being there. I would have pulled up stumps way before that.
I have to admit that, Redeem's teamwork was off the fucking chain. Yeah, they're. I really, there's no offense to the guys that got it because everyone worked well as a team. But watching like Redeem's team and like how they manage certain encounters and how they paired like, a Radiance with a Titan Sentinel, like defending them at the same time to make sure that they shot the eyes of Riven and make sure they didn't get a wipe mechanic. Like, I was like, ooh. I actually didn't see, I'm sure they probably did at some point, but I didn't, like, when I was watching the other streams, I didn't see that level of, like, coordination in those, like, final boss sort of mechanics. Lots of really talented players, but not, like, really talented players working like that so well together. And I was like, yeah, they really deserve to
I guess that at the end of the day is that's the proof in the pudding, right? Like that's, they've done it. This isn't the first time. I think that this will be their 8th world first or something like that. Like it's nuts. The stuff that they've done, like the hard modes, and I think they've had a stranglehold on it basically since D2 dropped. Like I'm pretty sure they got Leviathan as well. So, you know, they're master in their art. You know, that's what they do. That's what they're known for, and they know that. We know that.
I mean,
so if they're putting their foot down and doing it, and respect.
It's even amazing that the whole team is not streamer based too. Like, where the fuck do you find 5 of the people that have the time to get to that light level before the raid? That's not their job.
Yeah,
do you know? I could not find 5 people that would have had that much time, or at least like the energy to do like a full-time job and like,
and then be playing.
You know, I don't know what they do,
like
but I'm just saying, like,
night,
yeah. I don't know what they're you know, they might be. I don't know. They could be students. I don't know who. I don't know their backstories, but like, regardless, it's not just that 19 hours. It's like the 10 days of commitment.
Yeah.
To make sure that you pull your weight in the team leading up to the raid day.
Oh, that, and like this, there were so many factors that went into it too. Like, you know, even down to mods and things like that, where, you know, like it was kind of hard to keep track of who had what, honestly, because I was jumping between so many streams and sort of jumping between streams and then like watching someone that's playing one role in Riven, you know, like we're looking out at all the symbols and shit, and then you jump into another stream and they're not doing that. They're you know, they're doing ad control or something completely different. It was like, oh, you know, just trying to keep track of everyone's strategy was challenging in itself. But dude, like I can't help it.
Can we talk about like go on.
I was just gonna say I can't help but like sit here and just think about how hard Bungie have hit this out the park with this. Like the raid itself looks incredible. It feels incredible. It conveys the tone of what it's meant to. Riven was scary and intimidating as shit and big and, you know, everything you wanted out of it. And it took nearly 19 hours to beat, which is, 5 hours longer than Vault of Glass, which was the previous longest. So, I mean, I suppose that speaks to the difficulty of it, but, man, what a time to be a Guardian. That and tying it into real world events, like
that's what I was gonna say next. Is like, okay, this with probably the exception of Taken King, which sort of did it. This took the story to the next level, right? You have the campaign that finished, that wrapped up, that was satisfying in itself, that then led to a mission that introduced the Dreaming City, that unlocked the Dreaming City, that introduced the concept of what was going on there, to then opening the raid, right? Everyone knows they're going in there. Everyone knows they're going in to kick Riven's ass. Or most people sort of had, you know, people like, who's Riven? What's Riven about? Like, I think this is going to be the boss, whatever, going into the raid. Riven's there. Now this is where this is the cool thing, guys. This story has not concluded yet. From everything I've read so far, we have not seen the conclusion of this campaign. All right, Riven, that little freaking thing, that little message that everybody got on their screens when they defeated the Riven for the first time, 6 Guardians defeated Riven, blah, 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 and that's exactly what he wanted them to do, or whatever it said. Like, what? What the fuck does that mean?
That in itself just gives you chills, hey? Like, we're like, oh my God. Like, usually that horrible feeling, like, yeah, what have we done? Like, oh, hang on.
And then the Dreaming City has a strike mission, right? Have you played that yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't had the chance. I haven't been on yet, so, dude.
It is the best strike ever.
Fuck off.
Full stop.
Really?
It is better than the Warden strike, and that was a good strike. It is better than the Warden strike.
Okay.
It's better than Varric's, man.
Okay.
And there's a troll underneath the bridge that gives you a triumph. And the troll's a knight, and it's called Troll Underneath the Bridge or some shit like that. And the troll's fucking like 580. So if you want to do that, you gotta let me know. We have to go in together to whoop him.
Yeah.
Because he's tough.
We'll gang up on him. Yeah, righto.
Well, actually, I don't even know if I can do. He might even be immune. I think I have to be a high level before I can even do damage to him. Anyway, so
well, you were going to do the raid, but
yeah. So the strike, right? If you play the strike, that actually then leads in to the next mission, you actually get another Forsaken mission. You actually get another Forsaken campaign mission after they've defeated Riven. So you get the strike.
The Broken Courier?
Yeah, the Broken Courier. Chronologically, the strike comes first, and then you do like you can do them in any order, but the events that take place, it should be the strike first, and then you do Broken Courier, and that doesn't finish. Like it ends on a cliffhanger. So I assume something, and because I'm pretty sure they said it was a 3-week cycle, right, in the Dreaming City.
Yep.
Something will happen next week that will conclude this story.
I hope. What? This, I don't know. It's crazy, isn't it? Like, I'm gonna sit there going, like, what's gonna happen? Like, when I don't know when the hard raid comes out. Probably not in a week. But like, I'm gonna fucking.
I don't know. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. Well, I have a guess
of
what will happen, but
and another Gambit map. Just here you go.
And a Gambit map.
What a time to be a Guardian. What a time to be like. Man. Can we talk about this? You know how Bungie do the studio and they all sit there and watch all the streams?
Yeah.
How many people do you reckon stayed the full course? Because even
someone commented on that, but it was very joking. Like someone tweeted that like Bungie. Oh, someone tweeted at Bungie. I imagine who drew like the short straw to monitor the stream or whatever, and Bungie responded with, you know, it's not a negative. It's you know, who got the opportunity to watch it. So look, it's got to be in shifts.
Yeah,
I imagine
it'd have to be. But yeah,
I can't remember the name of the dev that was monitoring it, but they're the ones that messaged one of the Redeem guys and said good night or something like that. That was their confirmation from Bungie. It was, I'm gonna go to bed now.
Good night. I'm done.
Yeah.
I mean, part of me wants like wished that there was like a hosted event talking about it, but then when it gets to fucking 19 hours long,
19 hours.
I can totally see how that would break down and not work. Like you can't have, you know, someone sitting there trying to anchor all these streams for that period of time. But I don't know. Maybe it's, you know, there's an oyster out there for someone if they can. There's a pearl in there if someone can get the oyster open.
Can I say the other thing as well that was really cool about the raid? I mean, we sort of forgot to say spoiler warning because we are totally into spoiler territory.
Oh, we've gone off the spoiler with a reckless abandon.
Yeah, with raid because Sloth's not here. So the Last Stand in Riven, have you seen it?
No.
Have you seen all of it?
No, I saw where they went into like the Ascendant realm, but I was watching Datto, and they were the first to get in there, and they, you know, just sort of came out of nowhere. They had to climb up all the rocks, didn't do it quick enough, and wiped. And that was all I've seen. But you know, go ahead, tell me. And if you're listening to this right now and you don't want to know, earmuffs or not earmuffs because you probably got headphones in, but just stop. Skip 5 minutes into the future.
We're going to talk about the Last Stand because it is truly amazing. So you're fighting Riven, right? You take the health bars are actually at the bottom now. They're not over the top of the head of the enemy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is
persistent. Cool. I like that.
Yeah. So you can see with previous enemies, you can see like basic damage phases. You can see what you need to reach each time, which is why we can see that we're doing fuck all damage. So we and you know, like Datto's team and everyone, they didn't even do like an eighth of a damage for like 10 hours or whatever. Like they were in Riven, like not even doing damage. And then all of a sudden, once they clicked, they started doing half damage. Once they got the half damage, then they got to the final stand, right? And there's this tiny little bit at the end that's got, you know, that's segmented. And they all get teleported to an Ascendant realm. And it's a fucking jumping puzzle, basically. And it's a timed jumping puzzle. And you literally have to dodge hobgoblins snipering you, which are like one shot. Like, that's how Datto's team's wipe. They just got one shot by goblins. because they were so underleveled because it's 580 in there. And they were the max there, they were like 555 or 560 max. So they were just getting one shot. But at the very top of the jumping puzzle is basically the exit, and you just got to get one person there. That pulls everybody out. It then goes to like an Oryx. You haven't finished yet. It goes to an Oryx final stand. You have to shoot exactly like Oryx was.
Just do DPS.
That then
pure DPS.
That then kills. Yep. That then kills Riven. Still not over. You enter Riven's mouth, right? So everyone think they had won, but everyone's like, if you watch the video from Claim Redeem, they're like, we've won, we've done it. Like we've done, that was the final stand. Not correct, right? No chest comes out. They're like, what do we do now? And they see that the mouth of Riven's open. They're like, I guess we jump in the mouth. Everyone's so excited. They jump in. They don't notice that their health is going down. Their health is being cut and they're like, they don't notice until your shield goes and you get to the red. Like, we're fucking dying in here. And they had run all the way down because remember the mission is to take the heart of Riven. You have to go into his mouth and there's a blight and you have to shoot the blight before you wipe. And they just got it. Someone popped their super and it gave him more resilience and they got the blight, right? Didn't finish then. Loot did not happen then. And they're like, are we done now? No, not done yet. They then, because your job, once again, was to get the heart of Riven out. You then have to pick up the heart and take it all the way back out of the, I was to say temple, of the work at Homeland. Dreaming City. You have to take it all the way back out, right? But it's like hot potato.
And it kills you while you're carrying it.
Yeah. So not kills you. So you pick it up and you have a timer. And when that timer runs out, if there's someone right next to you, they get teleported too. But you got to try and isolate yourself. And you get teleported to like another Ascendant realm where you have to survive. And it's literally a bit like the Ascendant challenge ones. You just basically constant thrall and Hive Knights. And you have to try to survive in there. And then the next person gets chosen. They pick up the ball and they keep running, trying to get it to the very end of the like temple. And then eventually they get sucked in. And then the next person picks it up and then they keep running it, right? Like they pass it on, they keep running it. Then they get sucked in. Eventually it's down to one person. And they made it with like a second to spare. And they dump it in the like Tekken well, and that then is the end. Now, luckily they wiped straight away. The very first, like when they killed the heart, like initially went into Riven's like mouth, went into like his heart, and they killed that. They thought they had done it. Then someone picked it up. They all ended up just because what happened is they were all standing next to each other around the ball. And they literally all got teleported into the Ascendant realm straight away. And it's just like it's like Callus. If you all end up in there, it's just like a wipe, basically. So they wiped, and the fucking devastation on their faces, the amount of like, fuck you, Bungie, like, what? And luckily, that's actually a checkpoint. That's a checkpoint.
Right,
like
okay.
in Riven's like stomach is a checkpoint. And they were on that checkpoint for like an hour, maybe longer. So if you think about Last Stand, they sort of made, and I think this is a good thing, right? Because Last Stand with Oryx, once you knew it, it gave second and third teams like an advantage.
Yeah.
Because you just knew that it wasn't over yet, right? And it was just a bit of an initial shock. This Last Stand took an hour. So it didn't really matter if someone caught up. You still had to do, like, it was enough sort of like mechanics in it that it didn't really matter if you knew exactly the mechanics. You still had to execute it. And I think that was what was really good about the Last Stand. Even though it was exhausting, have to do that. I think that was intentional to combat, Team 2 and Team 3 running through and stealing it just because they knew it was, they knew the last stand mechanic, basically.
Yep. Dude, I can't imagine the stress. I can't imagine the anguish of, like, that's gonna be like a story that they tell people in later life and be like, I was there and I did this, and people are gonna be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No, do you know why? They don't need to tell that story because why people go to them, oh, what's that jacket about?
Oh, that was the other big thing I took out of yesterday was I am not getting a fucking jacket. I have 0% chance. I
had dreams of grandeur. As soon as we got stomped, I'm like, I fucking want that jacket, and that's when I decided to make a second character and start. I'm like, I've made a mistake. I need to be highlight, and it's slowly dawning on me that I'm not gonna get there, and that's okay. And that's okay.
The other thing is this. And the other stat that tells the story of Last Wish like no other is that in the first day of the Taken King of Oryx, 37,000 people finished the raid. The first day of Last Wish was 12. There are 12 people who have that fucking... how people are like, oh, I'm going to get this emblem. Well... That emblem. I feel sorry for Dado because apparently he did it in 24 hours and 2 minutes. I hope they give it to him. Yeah, anyway. Just give it to him. No, well, he got disconnected.
So the other team, right? So it was Redeem and Tier 1, right?
Yeah, T1. Yeah.
Yep, T1. So they did it within 24 hours, which is cool. Now, Dado's team missed out by 2 minutes. This puts Bungie, I think, in a really fucking tough position.
It depends.
But technically, they should just... I think they have to follow the rules here.
Oh, I mean, look at it this way.
I think they have to follow... I don't think they can make an exception.
If I know a community that's prone to outrage, and as much as I love it, it's this one. If they give it to him, fucking Reddit will melt down. There will be screes from the high heavens. So I think it's best for everyone if they just it sucks. It's an emblem. It's not a particularly pretty one. It is very cool, but still, the Dado gets a jacket. Good on you, buddy. Good. Yeah, wear your jacket.
Add it to the jacket story.
Yep. Just
add it to the jacket story, man.
24 and 2. Ouch. But dude, doing better than we are. All right, well, I think that concludes our just absolute smorgasbord of talking about the raid and all the hype and excitement around it. But we might go to a quick message from our sponsor. That's right, Man at Arms is back. And after that, we'll jump into what's going on in the coming week for Destiny in the 12. Let's do it.
Hi. Get played! Embarrassed to use the colony? No patience for the fighting lion? Do you like overkill? Then you need Play of the Game. Get played? Show no mercy. Play of the Game fires grenades with increased proximity detection. Increased from what? Clueless! But this level of hyperbole can only be compared to using 12 kilograms of C4 explosive to kill a common household spider. Unless, of course, you're in Australia, then that would be an appropriate amount of C4. Get played! Clear a point. Hip fire like a 90s action hero. Stand totally stationary around a corner and cut your opponent in half with enough ordnance to unclog Emperor Callus's toilet. Booshka! Solo queuing with no comms has never made more sense. Quick play, replay all day. Get yours from Lord Shaxx before it's reskinned today. Get played, get paid, get laid. With the Play of the Game. Actual results may vary.
Matt's just watching it on his phone.
I had to watch it, man. I had to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I probably made it a little bit difficult there, but I don't let anyone watch this shit before I unleash it. So it's really between me and Rick.
It's always new. So I always love watching that. Like,
get played,
so funny.
get paid, get laid. What the fuck?
Brilliant.
Oh god,
Absolutely brilliant.
It just
man.
never gets old. It's just good.
He's a talented man, Rick. He's a talented man.
He's one of the unspoken
Seriously.
sort of gems of Destiny community, I think. Well, this is one of those people that I'm sort of like, I'm waiting for him to just explode and then I'll just ride his coattails instead of yours for a change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, do we want to jump into the TWAB? We'll do that. We normally do that off the bat.
No,
but,
I thought that's what we were doing already.
Yeah, we'll just talk about the raid. Just for fucking nearly an hour. So we'll blast through this and then we might get to some questions at the end. This is the part that I normally struggle with because it involves, reading, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. So we don't need to cover off on the world's first stuff because that's happened, but
Well,
it is pretty cool that they get a fucking
belt.
belt. They get a belt. Like
And
a pro wrestling belt. That's all I can think of when I see it is just, I want someone to be like wearing that at Guardian Con and tombstone someone.
with the jacket. Like, I want
and just undies. Just
But do you know the thing? Like, fuck. Imagine this, right? Imagine if you were traveling to Guardian Con, you they lost your suitcase with your belt and your jacket in it.
Oh God.
I would. And this is why you wear it on the plane.
Yeah, just sit there with a fucking.
Hey, but a funny story. I actually saw a dude doing that. It wasn't actually. It wasn't a fucking esports belt. But I saw a guy get on the plane and he had his kickboxing belt over his shoulder. Probably the same reasons.
Well, dude, stranger things have happened. I imagine that if there was like a fighting belt in your luggage, people would go through it and nick it, right? Like, people are scumbags. You got to protect yourself. You got to find a way to manage it.
Yeah.
But I think that's cool. I mean, I hope they they fit and all that. I want to see a picture of these dudes wearing their belts at the pub or something. Now they're like serious veterans of something. Champions. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be mean, but I feel like most of those kind of belts are not made for people who play video games. Like, they will just not have enough rungs on them, so they'll just fall off them, or B, they'll be too fat for them. That'll be my issue.
Yeah,
That'll be my issue.
I'm a short ass, and I'd need like a heavyweights belt, like just because of my guts.
They must take your order. I imagine they'll do a waist measurement for us, please.
I don't. Maybe you're just not meant to wear it. Maybe it's like you put it in a fucking frame on a wall. That's probably where it belongs. Like, you're not going to be down at
probably
Coles doing your groceries with your fucking world's first belt on. You're going to be like, what's that belt about, mate? Oh well, because you're just going to come across like a fuckwit explaining. There we go. We used the word. That's a new record. We're nearly an hour in before someone said fuckwit, but there we go. That's good. It's progress.
On the Venn diagram of jacked wrestlers in Video Game Elite, there's very little overlap.
Yeah, I mean, hey, and that's where world first sits. It's like just that little fucking slither.
Yeah.
All right.
So, they also got that exotic, eh?
Well, yeah, what is it? 1,000 Voices? Is it called?
1,000 Voices. Yeah.
I must admit, it does look amazing, but those, what are they? What are they called? Line rifles or whatever they are? Trace rifles?
Not linear. Yeah. Are they trace? Not linear fusion. They're trace.
Yeah, if someone's in chat and they actually know shit about Destiny, now would be the time to speak up. But not my favorite weapon type, but dude, to get a guaranteed drop like that, I mean, I guess it just does show that Bungie can help people out with the drops.
I mean,
does that open a can of worms?
It needs to be good. I think that would be the. I mean, I think that would be the icing on the cake, really. Because if you think about it, if you didn't have the jacket, like they've done a lot of like in real life rewards, which I think is amazing, and the emblems. But like typically, you know, the Vault of Glass was about getting the Vex Mythic
True.
Glass. Like
True.
you know, that, you know, and Crota was about getting Necrochasm eventually. Right? So it has to have an aspect of getting the gear, which no one really seems to be discussing, which is odd, don't you think? Like everyone's just so chuffed with the experience. Like no one's even really talking about the gear that I've seen yet. So I hope it's overpowered. I hope you know, there's not that many people having it, so it's not like it's going to be rampant in Crucible. Like let it be stupid strong. Like I want to be zapped by
that
it.
was the
Like
I just want to be and then just be like, oh, I'm being murdered by pure raid glory. Oh.
Yeah. Like I still remember going into Crucible and getting killed by the Vex Mythoclast and being like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, dude, I remember that.
Was that a fusion rifle that just vaporized me?
Me and my brother-in-law being like, oh, we need this gun. It is fucking ridiculous. And then we're like, oh, you got to do the raid. Oh, well, forget that. It's bullshit. Get rid of it. Oh, I've come a long way. Anyway, so there's the raid. That's in there. Obviously, we've talked about that to death. But one thing that's kind of snuck under the radar a little bit is that Iron Banner is coming back next week. So after this week's reset, like, I'm honestly stressed with the amount of fucking shit that is in this game now. Like, I've had 2 weeks of annual leave and like I've sunk so much time into it, and I've only maybe 2 or 3 times got to a point where there wasn't something I needed to be chasing. And then you add like cyclical events like Banner and stuff into it. Holy shit.
It's a beautiful thing.
How have they done this? Like, how have they just this is what it's like it's come out of nowhere, but at the same time,
well,
most of the things you're doing are things that you've been doing for a while, right? Like the daily missions and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, like the real meat and potatoes of sort of the Destiny experience. But they're all, it's like there's just a tangible reward for just about everything. And not everything's on your director either. Like that's the other thing that I'm kind of noticing now. Like, you know, the Spiders bounty isn't on your director. There's other things that aren't on your director.
I wish the director is really cool.
Yeah.
I wish it had that on there. I don't know why it's not. Like I just feel like that would be the icing on the cake to truly see like bounty powerful engrams, because I mean it's great. It is so good to be able to log in and like it's so easy to know what your to-do list is. It's so easy to go like, all right, I need to do this, that, and the other. I need to play a couple games here. I need to do this. I guess it's pretty easy to learn who's got bounties. Like it's your main dudes now, you know. So
yeah.
it's not too much of an issue. But I love the director now. It's
so good because you know what? It's so simple.
Done.
Is there a glowing gold thing next to it?
Yeah.
Well, go and do that. go and get it done. It's simple as.
Get it done.
And most of it's fun shit you want to do anyway. Like, I mean, I'll admit, I'm not a huge fan of the daily mission thing. And normally when it resets, I'll just quickly blast out 3 of the same one and work out the fastest way to do it. But at least I'm going in and doing it. You know, like I'm invested in it enough. That'll probably be one of the ones that, you know, it slides off. But having Iron Banner coming back, I'm really looking forward to it. I want to sort of get in and see how it's different. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that we've had on and off for forever. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they've changed it up. So I'll just quickly go through the bullet points of it. So back on the 18th, power level, as always, will matter. Lord Saladin will have 7 weekly bounties. Each bounty rewards you with an Iron Banner themed reward. 2 of the bounties grant powerful rewards. Direct purchase available for armor, as well as 2 weapons with unique roles per event. So it's kind of like a vendor from D1 where, you know, the roles are rotating, but they're fixed for the event. Any leftover tokens from Season 3 can be redeemed in Season 4. I know there's a few people that I know that have been stockpiling them for a fucking long time and are going to be rolling in Season 4 gear really, really quickly. So, shrewd move. Good job. Crucible and Iron Banner awards will drop at the completion of each match. And upon release of Iron Banner, a new Crucible map will be available in all Crucible playlists for all Destiny 2 players. Map will be revealed on Monday. I honestly believe this will be a remaster map. It'll be one that we've seen already. They've made a habit of doing that with the two that they've done, like the Tower and whatever they are, and the one that was the Burning Shrine. So I think that we're going to see something come back that we saw in D1. So any tips, tweet them at us, I suppose. Tell us what you think it'll be. Yeah. Hopefully it's something really cool. Yeah, they've made a habit out of doing that, and I like it. I really like it. I think it's a good move.
Like when you said Iron Banner was coming back, I was like, no, I don't have time to do it. And then when you started saying like
what you get
two
out
bounties,
of it.
Yeah, like 2 bounties, Power Vanguard, I was like, oh yeah, I'm doing it.
Bungie really need to be
with just.
They need like a divorce lawyer fucking court, right? Like they need to, like, if you ruin your life because of Destiny, there needs to be some kind of fucking compensation, like some kind of support firm, right? Like
you just literally send them your divorce papers and they give you a new emblem. Like that's like. And it's just this emblem that's just cracked in half. It's not even straight. It's just fucking
just
bent.
a broken fucking, that the blue and the heart one on the red heart on the blue background. Yeah. It's just that, but broken. Yeah. Just snapped in half.
Yeah, it tracks how many divorces.
Or it tracks the amount of child support you've got to pay because you fucked up your family.
Oh,
it's just ticking over by the minute.
Oh my god, yeah, just let you know.
Oh, dude.
What were we talking about? Just how much stuff there is to do.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
And do you know what? Like, all the new supers are so good. You just want one of every character. Like, I haven't had the feeling of wanting one of every character, having 3 characters since Destiny 1.
You know what?
And now I want one of every character to play with all the exotics, to play with all the supers, everything.
I'm the same. And that for me to say that, I think is a little bridge further than for you to say it, because I'm a Titan and honestly, I'm going to say that. I think I said it last week.
Have you ever played another class?
Yeah, I had in D1, I had all 3. Okay. I've had all 3, but I mean, I've got like a hunter at the moment that I just neglect. Just, send him scraps under his door and never let him out of his room. But I honestly, I think that the thing that I'm most interested about, at least like looking at the Warlocks, is just that rift, that support rift. It's playing as a pure support class. For me, that was originally what I wanted to do with the Defender Titan. That was why I picked Titan to begin with, and then I realized that I could punch the shit out of everything, and I love it. So I've been a happy little Titan ever since. But I want to get into that, and I think looking at the way Last Wish works, I think you're really going to need a good mix and a deliberate mix of your team, like a solid idea of your team composition going in to have any hope. So. Yep. I mean, I really think that, to be able to be the good clan member that I am, I'm going to need the variety to be able to go, oh, no, it's okay. This round I'll run on my Warlock or whatever, and, fine.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. What else have we got here? Honestly, actually, do yourself a favor, and if you haven't read the top this week, go and look at it. There is an absolute shit ton of art in there. Oh,
really?
Yeah, there is a whole lot of concept art, a whole lot of stuff. I'm not going to do it the disservice of trying to paraphrase it here. There's a heap of stuff, like guys like Roderick Weiss and that we see on Twitter that release a lot of stuff. They're all in there. I think basically they've gone to everyone and said, give us a thing you're proud of working on, and we'll put it in the top. It is a great bit of eye candy to just scroll through. And, Bungie's Destiny's always been beautiful. And, to look at, put a name to the people who design some of your favorite gear, I think it's great. I think it's great and something that they should do more of. Now, this is a big thing. This is something I'm looking forward to. They're bringing back Bungie bounties in a big way.
Hell yeah.
So Bungie are going to run several bounties on different players each week. So it's going to give an opportunity for people in different time zones and all that sort of stuff to get involved in it. It's just something that we've always sort of had a bit of a bugbear with. Like when are we going to get an Australian one? We had Jez do it, I think, and it was he had it on PS4 or something, and we were like, fucking help nobody, but whatever. So hopefully we at least we're going to be able to play in the time zones and stuff as it rotates through. So it'll include all 3 platforms, different player regions, and players will be either in Crucible or in Gambit. So, I mean, if you don't fancy yourself a super Crucible player, you might be able to jump in and match him in Gambit. So,
do you know you literally just summoned the Jez when you said that?
Did I?
Jez has just done a raid with 344 people.
Woo! What a legend. There you go. Thank you.
You literally said, like, almost to the second, when you said, we've only ever had an Australian Bungie bounty, like...
It was on the console that we don't play on. Welcome. If you are new here and you haven't encountered us before, which I'm sure there's a fair few of you haven't, we are the Destiny Down Under podcast. Normally, Sloth is here as well, but I'm Log Power Slave, and to my left is Mylan Games. So, g'day. Welcome.
And Skill Up has the other Australian that's really enjoying Destiny at the moment. Has also done another raid, so thank you for that.
Oh wow! Look at this Aussie love. There we go. This is what we're about as a podcast, and it's good to be banding together. Look, there we go.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
We're very appreciative. Normally we don't stop the fucking podcast to be acknowledging this sort of stuff, but I think that deserves special note with a bit of Aussie camaraderie.
So for all the audio listeners, enjoy that. Enjoy that.
Just know that it was a happy moment for us, and you can enjoy it on Thursday while you're at work, and just know that me and Matt were happy and we felt loved. So, all right, what else have we got? Who's on this list? Let's have a quick look. So there's a few names jumping out at me.
Unknown
Lupo.
player,
Unknown player.
Dr. Lupo.
Yep.
There's no Australians on there yet, but hopefully we'll see some on there going into October maybe.
Well, let's hope. Let's cross our fingers.
Let's hope.
2 big names in the community there right now. Come on, dudes. What are you doing? Get out there. Bring the people at Bungie.
Should better work something out, surely.
Yeah, surely. So the other thing was the powerful gear and prime engram thing. Bungie have clarified the difference between powerful gear and prime engrams to clear up confusion. Powerful gear is directly rewarded when players complete certain activities, bounties, and challenges. So as you do, follow the golden lights. Follow the little indicators on your map. That's how you get it. Gear will drop into the inventory as it does not need to be decrypted. Prime engrams require the prime attunement buff, which you'll notice if it's sort of like a buff that'll over time expire to reward people who
you'll see it in your inventory. You'll be able to open your inventory and see it.
So they require that buff and can be earned randomly either through defeating challenging enemies or completing Crucible matches. So no matter what you're doing, if you've got that buff, you're potentially going to be able to get the prime engrams. When a prime engram is rewarded, the prime attunement buff will enter a cooldown, and this will reset over time. So it's sort of a controlled release of goodness, I suppose, is the best way of describing it.
Well, I think the main reason that they're addressing it was and I got concerned too with the prime attunement buff, that it sort of wasn't going away and that I was getting prime engrams, and I thought, I'm going to penalize for this because they sort of mentioned that people farming prime engrams by not picking them up, consequently your prime attunement buff wasn't going away, and then cashing them all in at the same time to make sure you got gear for all of your spaces. We're going to be not targeted later, but like negatively affected later because it was meant to be staggered with how many prime engrams that they got. And so they potentially could go 2-3 weeks without getting an engram. So a lot of people were concerned that their achievement buff wasn't going away and they were going to be penalized because they kept getting prime engrams, which is sort of was happening to me. But I believe that was due to, like, if you hadn't logged in that day or you hadn't got any of the day, it's sort of like stacks. So you might get 2 in that play session or 3, and then it did go away. So I can sort of comfort people with that. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's a mechanic that we haven't really seen before. This kind of random. Well, it's not random reward. It's sort of there just to add a little icing on top of the cake and make sure everyone's progressing, whether they're doing these activities or not. Like
the prime engrams are great. Like I think they've added things. You got your powerful engrams, which, to be honest, like if you've got 3 characters, you've got a lot of things to do. You've got your weeklies, you've got your dailies for your powerful engrams. And then you've always got the prime engrams. And then you've got, if you're really at that upper echelon, then you've got the ability to grind your levels in Gambit and Crucible, right? So like there is a way to keep grinding at everything, which Destiny 2 typically hasn't had. Like you log in, took you 2 seconds to get all your stuff done, and then you're literally done. You turn it off. Now you've got like that chase, and now you've got like the motivation. Like I want to do that raid. I don't know why I want to do that raid, man.
Well, it's the pinnacle. It's especially after like everything that went along with it yesterday, which we've been talking about for an hour, and we could like really go back to and probably talk about it for another hour, but just
I'm sort of sad that the audience missed our conversation of the raid, but we have covered it for an hour. We like it a lot. We watched it. It was
amazing.
It was super addictive to try and get back in there and grind out other characters and get a power level, because I don't know about you guys, but we got stomped. We got absolutely stomped. We need to be higher.
Right, let's just quickly. We'll round out the TWAB. We'll round out the TWAB super quick, and then we can just open the gates. We've got the chat up already, so if you want to write something, you're going to be, we'll start concentrating on that in a sec. So 2 important things. Okay. Due to load time and disconnection issues, quitter penalties in Gambit have been temporarily disabled. So it kind of sucks in a way, because I've had people quitting the games the second we get 1 round behind, and it's a bit frustrating. But, pull yourself together a team. Don't go in there just, on your little lonesome, because that's, less likely to happen.
Yeah.
So what else have we got? Known issues. Extensive list of known issues, including offering the Oracle, which if you have a full inventory at the time and you earn that, Keg got bitten by that pretty bad. So just be mindful of that. If you are in the blind well, you're doing the bounty to get the offering to the Oracle, clear your fucking inventory out. Just have nothing in there at all.
So just to be really specific, right? Is it tier 3 you have to get the offering, or is it just blind well?
No, it's just the completion, the 100% sort of basic. It's the bounty that you've got to participate in it, that where you get like 10% for tier 1, 20% completion or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you've got the bounty from Petra, and the reward is an offering, right? Yeah. And then when you hand in the offering, you get a powerful engram.
Yep. Yeah, it's
the issue is if you get the offering, you finish that bounty, you get the offering, and your inventory's full, it doesn't go anywhere, and so you miss the opportunity to hand it in. And the other thing is, there's been an issue where it disappears if you leave the Tangled Shore, or if you
Dreaming City.
Dreaming City, sorry. And so I think that was what people were saying is, before you click on that bounty and get the offering, like go to the Oracle where you hand the offering in. Go to the Oracle. That's where Marasov is, right, from the campaign. Go to the Oracle, hand in the bounty, get the offering immediately, and then dump it in to get your reward.
Do it. And honestly, it is. Yeah, it hasn't been fixed. As I think it's on the list of shit that they know that they've got to fix. But that is a really rewarding little. You can spend an hour doing that and get basically 3 cracks at a prime engram, because they're not a prime engram, a powerful reward, because you get 1 for doing the bounty, and then you get the offering to the Oracle. Then you get one for doing the Oracle, offering to the Oracle, and then there's a bounty to do an offering to the Oracle that you get one for that as well. So it's definitely worth your time. Just make sure that you're prepared before you do it, because I don't want to see anyone get burnt. Because the Blind Well, we haven't really spoken about that. We managed to get 9 of our clan in there the other night, and it was an absolute blast. We were tearing the place apart and doing tier 3s and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of fun, but yeah, just please be mindful of that going in. And I don't know, don't take it to Lesto. Just do it properly.
People taking to Lesto's, man.
Do you want to talk about that? Yeah. We're pretty much done with the TWAB. So
okay. It's not often. I don't know. It's been a while where it's like, sometimes Jesse was sort of had a point. Remember when everything was like a cheese? Remember it was like some things were so difficult, like you needed to cheese them. You remember like Nightfalls and like sitting in a little hidey hole where no one could damage you, and you could like just chip away at the boss, because if you died, you'd go to orbit.
Yeah, the classic Valis the Auric hiding behind the crates.
It's been a long time since that sort of has been a thing, and seeing a harder activity like the Blind Well and being able to cheese it with a Telesto and basically smash through the rounds just by shooting your gun is, I don't know. I think the response is different. A lot of people are like, I want to do it properly. Like, that's been my sort of experience. A lot of people are like, don't do that. Like, we don't need to do that.
Honestly, people are going to do it. People are going to do it. But if you're in there with 9 people, like, it's basically 2 people with Telesto can just blitz through the phase in like 10 seconds before you even see any enemies. So it's not really... Yeah, it kind of does diminish the actual gameplay you get out of it. But, I guess you're not going to stop people doing what they want to do, right? And, have fun.
Yeah.
Just be good to one another.
Yeah. So... just looping back to the raid, this is like, we spoke about that. I do think doing the raid on release is like the pinnacle event that you can do in Destiny, experience wise, when there's no guides, there's no one telling you how to do it, and you're actually problem solving a puzzle. Like it is very unique in the way that raids are in Destiny, and it's very hard to get that experience unless you're playing another MMO, and still then, you're not in a first person sort of shooter either. Is there another first person shooter that has raids like that?
Maybe
chat knows.
Not that I know of.
Maybe chat.
I don't think so. I don't know. If there's anything that you think is comparable, let us know in the chat.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that Sloss in the chat? He's clearly typing to us from his throne world.
Yeah, from his throne world. And I wanted to go in with the mindset not to beat it, but to have that experience. And if I was to have my time over again, I definitely would try to get to a higher light level, because it really was a lot harder than I thought, at least to get through one encounter at that level, and that was not the case. Like I honestly thought people going in at 550 was going to be overkill, and they were going to blitz through it. Like I thought, shit, these guys, like I didn't expect Bungie to account for that. Like I thought, oh man, 550, that's going to be really hard, like really high, and they're just going to smash through it. And that was obviously not the case. So, I sort of wish I had that, just a little bit higher light, maybe to get through like one encounter, because I feel like that's that feeling, like to solve a puzzle as a team in a raid, and to get through it and to get that rush, like you just can't get that anywhere else.
I agree.
So
that's
my regret.
Part of me was still, I didn't get to do it with the boys. If you're just tuning in, Sloth and Matt and a few of the dudes out of our crew went and did it at launch, but I was sound asleep and was like kind of really, really being an absolute pissy little bitch about it. But dude, I think you're right. Like I really want people to, it does feel bad if you were doing that and you just get your ass kicked and that's it. Like you want to make at least some headway, hey?
No, but I think this is the standard now. I really hope that this is the standard now. Like, it's always been sort of like a little bit different with each raid with your levels. You know, like Vault of Glass came along and just shocked people because no one really knew what it was going to be, right?
Yeah.
And then other ones, like I'm pretty sure I went into Crota like easy. Like we got to the end. You know, I mean everyone did. everyone got the end of Crota.
In an hour and a half.
Right, and then Oryx was very mechanical, sort of heavy, right? So that was a different beast again. But I feel like this had like DPS checks and mechanics and like, you know, really set an expectation for how tough enemies were going to be and how much like work you had to put in beforehand. And I guess that's because they gave you the lead in. They gave you 10 days to build up to it as well. So they could do that, right? Like you can make it tough.
Yeah.
And I think that will be the expectation going forwards is like, okay, guys, like if you want to jump into the raid on day one and finish end game content on day one, you're going to have to work your ass off to get there. Otherwise, this is something that you'll get to next month or you'll get to the month after. And I think that's fine. I think that's great. I think that's good.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of rewards the elite of the elite, right? And I'm fine with that. I think it's something that, like, it's been pretty, I'm not going to say poorly done. I think we're, Bungie are learning kind of what we want out of it as an audience. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like for mine, I would love to see in game, you know, like a plaque or something, you know, especially given the nature of the Dreaming City. I'm not sure, you know, like out the front of where we're entering the raid or whatever, just, you know, a plaque with, I don't know how much it'd break the immersion of the game, but a plaque with everyone who can, you know, the world's first team just in there. You know what I mean?
In game. Just like Iron Lords, just like their characters as little statues.
That would be unbelievable if they could work that out. If they could do
Imagine
that,
just like a little shelf with the raid team statues of what they finished as with their gear, like little like the cat statues, but little Guardian statues.
that would be unbelievable. I mean, imagine being that dude, but like, it's just you can take someone in there.
I feel like that would ruin
me.
the immersion, though. That would like the Dreaming City as such is so well integrated into the story that it would be odd to see.
Just random stuff. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I'll just throw it out there and say that not every idea I have is a good one. So, all right, well, if you're in chat and there's something you want us to discuss, throw it up.
Yeah, please let us know in chat if you want us to discuss anything as we wrap up the podcast. What do you think's gonna like? I think I know what's gonna happen with the end boss, but like, should we talk about the raid ending?
You can.
Like what? Like
I mean,
like that screen
that
your
like fucking podcast.
So I guess the question is, what's the last wish, right? So it ends with fuck. I need the notes in front of me. I've written them at home, so I went and transcribed like what was said because it was difficult to hear over the enormous applause when they finally finished. But like, Riven continued to grant someone a wish, and I don't think it's the Queen. I think it's she, as in a hive god.
Yeah, that was my understanding.
Because someone would have remember that Riven was taken. Yeah. Right. So we're talking Ascendant Hive. We're talking Oryx, who's no longer with us. Bless his soul. And it must be his sisters, Savathun or Zypher Arath. And the interesting thing is Savathun is pretty much hinted throughout Destiny 2. But guess who's hinted at in the new mission that was released after the raid finished?
Zypher
Arath is like every enemy. Is like Herald of Zypher or whatever. Like all of them. Not Savathun, Zypher. Which is very odd. Extremely, like, if Savathun is coming, they should be there. Like, they should be heralds of them, not Zypher. So I don't know if that's a massive hint of who's coming soon. But, like, the Last Wish, like the city's different, right? Like there's more Taken there as well.
Yeah.
It's confusing. I don't know. I don't. So the reason why I don't know, and this is cool too. This is really cool. This is like the discovery process of it. Is all the lore tabs were actually initially in the API, which was upsetting to the writers because it's meant to be a surprise, right?
Yeah.
And I would have read it, and a lot of other people would have read it on Ishtar Collective. And so they came to agreement to remove it. So they've been removed. So you can't see them anymore. And I'm sure the answer is in there, but we can't read it yet until you unlock it. And I don't know when it's going to unlock. And so I messaged, I have Toes from Dado's team, Riot from T1, and Sassy. And between them, I believe I have the full lore tabs of the Hunter set and the Warlock set, but I don't have the Titan set. If anyone has the Titan set, the Raid Titan set, I would love to have a look at the lore tabs if you can tweet me. They're not even in the database either.
Yeah, right.
So I have a feeling they might have the story in there. And then the lore book that will come out with it. So I'll let you know. I've got a lot of reading to do. And I don't have any weapons either yet. I don't have any lore tabs for weapons. I think I have Toes is going to try and get them for me. So I need a whole bunch of stuff, which is cool, right? Because like before, I know how like I can write a lore video with like a lot of confidence. But now it is quite tough, but it's sort of cool because like people can correct you like, hey, I found this item and it says otherwise. Like this should be a theory. So
well, I mean, it blows the doors wide open. You know, like the less we know, the more we speculate, right? So, I mean, that's the other thing that ties in with all the stuff being heralds of Zivirath and all that. Like, what is going on? We don't understand any of it. But are we going to find ourselves in the middle of two warring hive gods? Like, is that where this is headed? Or are they working together and then we're just fucked?
I think they're working together. I don't know why. I feel like they'll be working. Well, it's not really in the hive's nature to work together. So maybe they're not working together. I don't know. That's why I want to read the tabs. That's what I want to read to see what's up.
There you go. If you're a Titan and you're out there, and I'd offer, Matt, but I think we both know that I'm not getting through that fucking raid anytime soon.
Titans, I know Titans don't always like to read, but I need your assistance.
I mean, if you can't punch it, you got no interest.
Punching books.
There you go. Jug is in chat. Jugzilla is in chat, and he's offering to show you some of the lore. So there you go. Yep. I'm sure Matt would really appreciate it if you DM'd him to him.
I would like to that. Jug, tweet at me and I'll follow you, mate. Let me know. Definitely.
Excellent.
Definitely, please.
Excellent.
All right, DM me on Twitch and I'll get your details.
Beautiful. All right, well, I think we've talked ourselves to an absolute standstill, which, like without our third wheel here, without Slothy, I thought we were going to... we either go one way or another, where it's really short, or we just totally go down the rabbit hole. And I think we went down the rabbit hole and down fucking Riven's throat today. What do you reckon?
Oh, mate. The law ain't finding you. You have to slide down that throat, rip out its heart. that's what you need to do to find the law.
That was really quite a brutal summary there, Matt. That was full on. Yeah. All right, as always, we're going to find someone to raid into so we can pass the love forward. And if you do go follow the raid, just say good day a lot. That's basically how we roll around here. So we'll play some hold music and that'll kick off very shortly. But in closing, it has been an absolute pleasure. Sloth always says like and subscribe and all of those, something about a bell or I don't know, Matt. Some shit, but do this. Just watch the old videos and do what Sloth says in them, because otherwise he'll be an angry old man.
Nailed it.
It does feel cheap if he's not here to defend himself. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we have been Destiny Down Under. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Matt with a newsreader nod, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful. Peace.